fellow Biafrans, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you listen to the sound of my voice. Today, I want us to remember the story of the man they call Sunday Jackson from Adamawa State, a Christian who was a farmer, a man who was busy on that day, that fateful day, farming in his land, in his farm, and the herdsmen came. The Fulani herdsmen came with their cows, destroying his crops. This happened about 10, 11 years ago. And he asked them to please remove their cows from his farmland. And before he knew it, a struggle ensued. Even though there was a big scar, a gash on his body to show that the herdsmen attacked him with a knife, a dagger, or a cutlass. At the end, he was able to overpower this herdsman who lost his life in the process. But guess what? Because the Fulani cabal, they are above the law. Even the herdsmen have more rights than the average so-called Nigerian. This man, for the fact he was in his farm, all he did was self-defense. Today, he's still on death row for about 10 years now. And guess what? The Supreme Court of that zoo called Nigeria, that shithole called Nigeria, that Islamic satanic gutter country called Nigeria, a Supreme Court has made a law, and they said they are standing by the death row of the man, the Christian they call Sunday Jackson. When we tell you that we, the Biafrans or Christians in that zoo called Nigeria, they have no say. They have no right. They are subjects to the caliphate in that zoo. Some of you think we are lying and telling lies. But I'm glad the international bodies now, they understand what's going on. They understand. Watch this video and I'll come back. Hear what they are saying about Sunday Jackson. Listen.
Barrister Emmanuel and I have been working for a number of years here in Nigeria on human rights issues, and this is a sad day, Charles, for human rights in Nigeria. Sunday Jackson, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm a human rights advocate. Sunday Jackson, by anyone's estimation, is totally innocent. And the issue where this man was out farming, minding his own business, and then the attacker came and a struggle ensued. And of course, this man is going to defend himself. That's why we call it self-defense. And yet today we were at the Nigerian Supreme Court, and it was very brief. It was only about maybe 2 minutes long. And we just wept at the failure of the Nigerian Supreme Court to say that this man, and they had the opportunity to say this man was totally innocent. We haven't seen all the ins and outs of the decision, but we had the opportunity to meet this humble farmer, this young man who unfortunately his wife abandoned him, had been on death row for 10 years. So Sunday Jackson has now become an international case for human rights.
Yes,
and so we're going to continue to advocate.
I was going to ask you what are the international dimensions of this case?
Well, the international dimensions are Open Doors, which is a human rights organization, has recounted that there have been thousands of killings of Christians by Fulanis. And so as a human rights advocate and as a pastor, I'm here to advocate for this man who is totally innocent. So it has international implications. The eyes of human rights advocates are now on Nigeria. Like, how could this happen? How could this possibly happen? By anyone's estimation, as Barrister said earlier, manslaughter at least, because murder one that he's being convicted of and may face hanging if we can't get clemency for him, it has to be premeditated. So what justice on the Nigerian Supreme Court, that didn't pop up and say to him or her, this is a case of self-defense and this man is totally innocent. So we encourage people to continue to pray for Sunday Jackson and his innocence.
They will keep on praying for him. They will keep on doing what they have to do. But unfortunately, Prayer is not enough. It is time they face the devil face to face, head on. We know the problem in Nigeria, that shithole called Nigeria. But they keep on pretending like they don't know what's going on. Because it beats my imagination that strangers that come into that land have the right to bear arms, AK-47, headsmen, people that cannot spell their names in English. How did they get the license? How did they even have the security clearance to bear AK-47s? Let that marinate into your mind. Let that get into your mind. How come even the citizens of Nigeria, those who claim to be citizens, they are not allowed to bear arms? But suddenly, these unkept, dirty-looking, ragged, ugly, smelling animals, people less than humans, herding cow, speaking the language of cows, people that suck the breast of the cow, people that make love to the cow, people that drink the urine and the blood of the cow. Somehow, they have this green light or green card, access to have AK-47 without no, registration of the firearm. They don't have to call any shorty to have such a deadly weapon. And they roam from state to state, village to village, farmland to farmland, around the whole country. And there is no gun rule. Say, hey, in this state, there's a gun-free zone or something. Even in America, where they bear arms, there are some states that you must go into the sheriff's office. You have to go to the police station to register that you have come into the state with a firearm. But in Nigeria, it's not done. These particular people, headsmen, that cannot even write their name in English, they have the green light, the license to carry firearms, AK-47. Sometimes when I reason this, it beats my imagination. That is the problem. Even the so-called citizens cannot bear arms. Even the so-called parastatals, they were, created by the so-called governors from that shithole country. One of them, the Amotekun, they were only licensed to carry pump actions. 2 rounds of guns, pump action. But the Fulani killer headsmen, the headsmen can carry AK-47. It shows that the problem is deliberate. We heard of the story where a pastor, a man of God in the church, in a bid to protect his church members, he had an AK-47 at the pulpit while he was preaching, because during that time, headsmen and, the Islamics, they were coming into churches and burning them down. So there was a video of him having AK-47 in the church, preaching the word of God. Guess what happened? You won't believe it. In less than 48 hours, the Nigerian DSS, they came and they picked him up. He was whisked away down to Abuja. And only God knows what happened to him. A man of that prestige, a man of God, couldn't even bear arms. But those dirty-looking, ragged, unkept animals, people who are less than human beings, 2/3 of humans can carry AK-47. That's the problem. In Nigeria, they know those who are responsible, because even when the police see them with the guns, they do nothing about it. When the army see these guys with the guns, they do nothing about it. So it begs the question. It now means, who gave them the license to carry those guns? How come the police can't even do anything? But when they see a young man with a knife, he gets gunned down. When they see a young man with a pistol, he gets killed on the spot. They call him a criminal. He gets killed on the spot. But the headsmen can carry guns. every nook and cranny in that shithole called Nigeria. And guess what? They are above the law. So who made it that way? The moment you start to think this way, now you understand why even the Supreme Court could not set Jackson free. Sometimes this is what happens. This is how you understand the reason why a man like Sunday Jackson, for 10 years, all he did was self-defense. In his own farm, he was busy plowing the land. His land. Harvesting, trying to do some harvest while those cows came in. And all he did was beg the headsman, please, can you take your cows away? They're eating my crops. That was all he did. They refused. They brought out their knife. They cut him, and he was able to overpower that guy. Unfortunately, somebody passed away. It was nothing but self-defense. But in Nigeria, because the Fulani cabal, they are above the law, even the Supreme Court have no say. They believe the cow have more rights than humans in Nigeria. So for the fact that the headsman was dead, and it means that man called Sunday Jackson, being a Christian, he will never see the day of light. To the whole world, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. They will hang him, or they'll make him rot in jail. That's how they roll in Nigeria. The Fulani, they are above the law. Unfortunately, Britain told them they were born to rule. So sometimes you must blame the slave masters. You must blame the colonizers. Those that told the caliphate they were born to rule. Those that went into partnership with them. And I wonder, to the Yorubas, you claim you are the most educated. Yet you are allowing a few of you to go into a partnership with the caliphate, knowing their trademark, knowing how they roll, knowing the way they behave. You think you are in a partnership with them. A mutual understanding was signed with them. I'm sorry, you have given your land away. Soon and very soon, when Sharia starts to wax strong from state to state, village to village, then you will ask the question, what went wrong? But we shall remind you all, the day you signed a partnership with Mieti Etiala in Oyo State, the day you went into an MOU with the Islamic Caliphate from the north, we shall remind you all. You said, oh, there is this mutual relationship you have with the Islamic Caliphate that cannot be broken by no one. That the Southwest and the North, they have this special relationship. I've got news for you. That so-called special relationship, as boasted by this man called FFK, Femi Fani-Kayode, he was boasting on X, on Twitter, that nobody can break the bond. This special relationship that they now have with the North. That will be the end of the Yoruba land as you know it. That partnership that you went into will consume your land. Because if you keep on pretending like you guys can't see what is happening, every nook and cranny, you pretend not to know what's happening in that zoo called Nigeria. To those who went into the partnership, you have sold your birthright, you have sold your land, and you have sold your people to the caliphate. Because today there is Sharia law waxing strong in Yoruba land. Today, everywhere you go, there is a Sharia court, Sharia county, open for business in Yoruba land. They are coming. They have come. They have come. So for one more time, it's okay to hear what the international bodies are talking about this Christian man known as Sunday Jackson. But until the international world understand that you must support Biafran, we the Biafrans, we're a nation where 99% of us are Christians. I repeat, we are the only nation where 99% of us are Christians. And 1% are both Christians and those who practice the African spirituality, our traditional way of worship. If the world cannot see the reason why Biafra should be set free from Nigeria, if you cannot see what we are seeing, what is coming, we are the only ones that can checkmate Nigeria. All we need is your support. Support the Biafrans. Support the Christians in Africa. We have the power. We have the strength. We have the men on ground to do what is right. All we need is the support from the Western world. Because this begging and begging and begging will not solve the problem. Today you're confused, you're worrying how come a Supreme Court that should know it all, that should understand when a case is self-defense, manslaughter maximum. But no, they have to skip to the law of the Islamic Caliphate. That's how they rule in Nigeria. They will tell you the ruler of Nigeria is the Sultan of Sokoto. He's the Godhead. He's the leader. He's the one that calls the shots. Whatever he says, the governors will do. Whatever he says, the government will do. Whatever he says, even the court, the so-called Supreme Court, bows down to the Sultan of Sokoto. Nigeria is gone. Nigeria is an Islamic country. Hence, we are calling on the world. We are calling on the government of America. We are calling on President Donald Trump to please come to the aid of the Biafrans, because they have come to wage war with us. They are coming to exterminate us. They are coming to Islamize us. Hence, we are calling on the world. We are calling on President Trump to hurry to the aid of the Biafrans. We have declared our independence on the 29th of November 2024 in Lahti, Finland. But unfortunately, that same Nigeria is now in partnership with Finland, where our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is being held in Finland. A man who has no criminal record, not a single criminal record in Finland, is being held incommunicado in Finland. That's the power of Nigeria. That's what they can do. So we are begging at the mercy of the world. We are calling on America, God's own country. Hurry to the aid of the Biafrans. We are at your mercy. They have come to kill us. They have raped our women. They've brought their military embedded with terrorists to the land of Biafra to kill us in the name of the law. Hurry to the aid of the Christians in Biafra land. Hurry to our aid. And we promise we shall stand strong with you. We shall fight to defend Christianity in Africa. We shall be that line, that fortress, where Christians can come and take abode and practice their religion freely. Hurry to our aid. Hurry to our aid. Like the story of Sunday Jackson. If you need freedom, hurry to the aid of the Biafrans. And you will see the Christians live in peace and harmony in Africa. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope, because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High Himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake Biafra will come. because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say it with every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why